Next on the news, prayers for the heartland where the death toll from tornadoes is rising. How you can help. More than 1,000 Catholics celebrated the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe at the Cathedral of St. Joseph.
Finally, the grand opening event introducing the historic Emmaus Center. I'm Jessica Easthope with what the Diocese of Brooklyn can expect of the Christmas experience.
She's only 9 years old, but this little girl with the big voice has gone viral. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. Prayers going out to the victims of those deadly tornadoes in America's heartland. At least 74 people are confirmed dead after the twisters ripped across 8 states. Now communities are digging through the destruction left behind. From Missouri to Kentucky and almost every state surrounding them, community members are turning out to help clean up the damage left behind after a streak of deadly tornadoes tore through 8 states over the weekend.
It came and it just, in a matter of 2 minutes, it just blew everything up.
Thousands upon thousands of structures demolished. Communities laid to waste. Mayfield, Kentucky, one of the hardest hit towns.
Nothing that was standing in the direct line of this tornado is still standing.
The death toll expected to rise. Search and rescue efforts turning into missions of recovery as the likelihood of finding survivors dwindles.
Every day that goes by, we lose a little bit of that hope.
Those that made it out alive sharing harrowing tales.
This door here is what kept us alive.
It felt like there were 10 grown men on the other side of this door trying to pull it off the hinges.
2 Kentucky law enforcement officers were hit by the tornado while inside their cars. Check out the damage: broken glass, a shattered window, a busted windshield, a 2x4 through the body of the car. But not only did they survive, they also saved a young girl.
We could hear somebody screaming for help. By that time, Chief Deputy Jeremy Prince was coming to help us. He arrived and he said there was a girl inside that was bleeding profusely. So we ran up there with our tourniquet, and it appeared that her leg was seriously injured. U.S.
bishops are praying that those affected will find peace, comfort, and hope in the Catholic faith, saying during the Advent season, where we await in joyful anticipation for the birth of our Lord, we pray for those who have been injured, for those who have lost their lives, and for their grieving families and communities. President Joe Biden declared a major disaster in Kentucky on Sunday, releasing federal funds to help recovery efforts. This Wednesday, Biden will attend a storm briefing with emergency officials and then head to Mayfield and Dawson Springs to survey storm damage. Pope Francis is sending his thoughts and prayers to the victims of the deadly tornadoes. The Holy Father addressing a telegram to the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, expressing his sadness at the news. The pontiff also took the time to thank rescue workers and healthcare personnel, asking God to give them strength and perseverance. First responders in Kentucky are working around the clock to find survivors. So far, 18 counties are reporting extensive damage. Grace Haba speaks to one homeowner who is now picking up the pieces after his home was demolished. He says he's just grateful to be alive.
All that's left is a bunch of concrete, definitely not a house, no barns, no looking for the livestock.
Describing what happened to you after going through the unimaginable is nothing short of difficult. And Mitchell Wooldridge did just that as he walked us through the damage to his home, much of which he was seeing for the very first time.
My girls had slept in the basement due to, the possibility of the tornado. Me and the wife were asleep upstairs, and the code red alert woke us up. It wasn't raining or anything. And you think, oh, it's not a big deal. And then you hear the loud winds. And I go, well, I need to get to the basement. I was really starting to crouch down, telling everybody to get down, get down, get down. And that's when the wall hit me and knocked me down. This wall you see right here that's got paneling and stuff on it, that wall hit me whenever it fell. And my oldest daughter and wife were here in this recliner. which is now flipped up over, and my youngest daughter was here on the couch.
When the wall hit you, what did your wife say to you when she looked up?
Oh, said, I can see out, the house is gone. There's nothing left. All you could hear was just the loud wind and the rain.
After neighbors found Mitchell and his family huddled together in their basement, there was only one place nearby that was safe for the group to go.
I'm wearing my neighbor Nevin Price's clothes. Thank God for that. He's a big guy like me, and his house is the only house on this road that's still standing. We got minor scrapes and bruises, but nothing. We're okay. Just waiting for daylight to really get a full grasp on the devastation that we have.
And when the first bit of daylight came, it was almost too much to bear. What are you thinking now that you're starting to see the gravity of the situation?
Just where do I start? That was a house right there.
Right before that tree, right to
Yep.
the right of it?
There's another one that we used to be able to see over here where you can kind of see a vehicle or a telephone pole standing. There was a house on the corner. There's another house here that's basically gone. And then there were a couple houses up on the top of that ridge right up there that are they're gone too.
Is there anything that you're looking for specifically that you hope isn't lost?
No, I mean, there are a lot of family, heirlooms, if you will, as far as stuff we had from, grandparents and stuff like that. But, we got the memories. My family's okay, and that's really all that matters. It's going to take a while to clean it all up and get, where we can even begin to do anything that's going to look like normal. We've got a nice neighborhood, and we want to keep it that way. We had a nice neighborhood, I guess. I'm definitely thankful that my family's okay. All this stuff is material. We worked for it one time, we can work for it again, we can replace it.
That was Grace Haba reporting. The Catholic community in Kentucky is coming together to help in recovery efforts. Joining us now is Bishop William Medley of the Diocese of Owensboro to give us an update. And Bishop, first of all, we're happy that you're okay. I know that your area wasn't affected as significantly as these other places. Describe for us the destruction that you saw when you visited Mayfield.
Okay, I didn't get into the city of Mayfield, but along the way, it's about a 2.5-hour drive to Graves County. And there were several places along the parkway and the freeway where I could see that the tornado had passed and sheared off trees and left a lot of debris in the roadway. Saw a few barns destroyed, but I did not get into the actual destruction area, although there are at least 5 counties in our diocese. We make up the western third of the state of Kentucky, have 32 counties. At least 5 of them have experienced significant damage, and 4 of those have experienced 10 or more fatalities.
Well, as we've reported, the town of Mayfield, located in your diocese, was one of the hardest hit communities. More than 100 people, as I'm reading, went to a candle making factory there looking for shelter from the storm. And you've said that many of them are parishioners of your churches. What are you hearing about that?
Well, they didn't seek shelter there. They were working there. Their shift, and the tornado basically imploded the building, and the roof collapsed on those people. From what I've heard, they've accounted for 70 survivors, but they're still digging through the rubble to recover bodies. Early Saturday, they were recovering some survivors, but I think the expectation at this point is that the recovery will be of the bodies right now.
Oh, it's so horrible to hear. Talk about the damage done to the churches in your diocese.
Okay, in Mayfield itself, St. Joseph Church, there is a school building. There's no longer a school that operates there, but the parish school building will probably be demolished. That's bad news, obviously. But the good news is it would appear that the school building sheltered both the church and the rectory from further damage. Both of them sustained some damage, but they are, from what we can know at this early date, are repairable. So a hidden blessing there.
Absolutely.
In the community of Dawson Springs in Hopkins County, the church has sustained major damage and may not survive. I know the entire roof is gone. It appears to me from photographs, I've not been able to visit, that the walls may have buckled in some way. So we'll have to have engineers look at that. But clearly, as important it is to us to get back in church, people's homes are going to be a priority in the short run.
Right, absolutely. And I saw on your website that a special collection was taken up at Mass for those affected. What is the church doing to help?
Well, the local parishes are already, they're setting up distribution points to give people things that they need, blankets, food, offering meals. As far as the diocese, our Catholic Charities will spearhead our efforts to assist the victims. And it is overwhelming. We had a great response to the collection taken up in all of our churches on Sunday. I have heard from the bishops of several of our neighboring dioceses that they either took up a collection on the 12th or plan to take up a collection next weekend. And I'm getting calls from all over the country. People are going to our diocesan website and contributing directly to that appeal. So it's humbling and it's inspiring that so many people see this tragedy and want to help and allow the church to be of help.
It is nice to hear. Bishop William Medley of the Diocese of Owensboro, Kentucky. Thanks for joining us, and we are praying for you.
Thank you. That's the best news I can hear, is that people are praying for us.
If you'd like to help those affected by the tornadoes, just go to owensborodiocese.org/give and make sure to click on Tornado Relief Catholic Charities for the donation destination. The newest New York State mask mandate is now in effect. The Diocese of Brooklyn announced at all masses this weekend that under the mandate, masks must be worn during services. Governor Kathy Hochul announced Friday that face coverings will be required in all indoor public places unless the venue or business requires proof of a COVID-19 vaccine. The mandate goes through at least January 15th. More than 1,000 Catholics came together at the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph this weekend to celebrate a major Marian apparition, Our Lady of Guadalupe. The large turnout, which filled both the church, the street outside, and the building's undercroft, was a stark difference from the 2020 celebration. Attendance then was limited due to COVID restrictions. After the Mass, Bishop Robert Brennan lit the Guadalupe torch, which symbolizes the light of Christ. More than 3,000 runners then took their own torches from that light back to their parishes, where celebrations for Our Lady of Guadalupe continued.
Eres nuestro orgullo, mi México es tuyo, tú guardas la llave.
A singer and a mariachi band were part of the celebration of the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe at the Vatican. Hundreds of Latinos from throughout the Americas filled St. Peter's Square. The Pope came to the window of the papal apartments, telling the crowd, "I congratulate you who are here to celebrate St. Mary of Guadalupe." He was a musical legend known for his dedication to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Today, the world is mourning Vicente Fernandez. Fans filled an arena in his native Mexico to pay tribute to the Grammy winner. The 81-year-old died of complications from a fall. His death came on the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, his son tweeting that Our Lady took him home. There's a lot more news headed your way. Brooklyn is getting into the spirit of Christmas, and this holiday concert is more than just a night of fun. It's giving back to a good cause. It's the most venerated Marian apparition in Mexico and Latin America. Hear how the devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe began, and the voice of an angel that is reaching thousands online.
There are now some big changes to the tablet website. You can get personalized access to the Catholic news you value. Sign up for free at thetablet.org.
The Spirit of Christmas concert, hosted by Futures in Education, being held Monday evening at the newly renovated Emmaus Center in Williamsburg. It's a fundraiser that will give students in need help to get a Catholic education in Brooklyn and Queens. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has a preview.
Preparations for a Christmas experience are underway here at the Emmaus Center in Williamsburg. Its grand opening and inaugural event will benefit children in the Diocese of Brooklyn, get people into the spirit, and evangelize. The piano is tuned. Performers are rehearsed. Sound checks are done.
This is good.
And the stage is set for an event organizers are calling not just a show, but a spectacular.
That's the purpose of this, to really make it a big event so we want them to be curious.
Monday night, 600 people will pack the Emmaus Center, formerly the Williamsburg Opera House, for a night of faith and fun.
It's such a beautiful place, the way it was restored. I got my hats off to Monsignor Jamie and everybody involved, because it's actually gorgeous. You know, it's like a mini Carnegie Hall.
9 months ago, after suffering a massive stroke, actor and singer Anthony Mangano couldn't walk. Now he's stepping out onto stage to host the Spirit of Christmas concert.
The power of prayer alone is awesome. So I am so honored to be able to go on Currents to talk about this, that this is going to be something that's going to be great as it progresses down the road.
Proceeds from the event will benefit futures in education. But more than that, the performance will introduce the Diocese of Brooklyn to the Emmaus Center and all it has to offer.
People leave here, they say, this was an experience. I want to be a part of this. I want to come back next year. I want to support Futures in Education. I want to support the Emmaus Center.
The money raised tonight will send hundreds of students to Catholic school in Brooklyn and Queens. I'll have a full report on the concert and all the festivities tomorrow. In Williamsburg, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
Continuing our coverage of Our Lady of Guadalupe celebrations, she's one of the most venerated Marian figures in Mexico and all Latin America. Millions travel to Mexico City every year just to see Our Lady of Guadalupe. But where did the love of this Marian apparition first begin? Claudia Torres reports it started hundreds of years ago when one man had a chance encounter with the Blessed Mother.
The devotion dates back to 1531 when the Virgin Mary appeared to St. Juan Diego, an indigenous peasant, in 1531 on the hill of Tepeyac in Mexico City.
The Virgin explains to him that it's essential that he be her messenger, that he go to the bishop and ask the bishop to build a little house for her, while she will show all her love. Here she demonstrates that she does not come to present herself, but to present God's love.
The bishop is skeptical at first, so in the last of 5 apparitions, the Virgin Mary gives Juan Diego flowers to present to him as a sign. Juan Diego carries them in his cloak, known as the tilma.
When Juan Diego presents these flowers to the bishop, the image remains imprinted on the tilma. This imprint is a great miracle, first of all, because of everything that's reflected in that image. For the indigenous people, it was a codex full of symbols that they could understand.
That image on St. Juan Diego's tilma is still kept in the Basilica of Guadalupe today. It shows the Virgin Mary wearing a blue-green tunic, indicating her authority. She is shown as a mestiza of mixed race, bringing together indigenous and Spanish culture. Our Lady of Guadalupe played a key role in evangelization in the Americas.
She touches the deepest fibers of the indigenous people, and she makes them understand that there is a new light in Mesoamerica that comes from God, and whose purpose is to change this violent context that has stripped the indigenous peoples of their dignity.
That was Claudia Torres reporting. Our Lady of Guadalupe gained a large amount of her popularity during a 1736 yellow fever epidemic. The apparition was credited by locals for ending the outbreak due to her miraculous intercession. Still to come on Currents News, a first of its kind nativity is unveiled at the Vatican. The beautiful display you can see going into the new year. Plus, still looking for gifts under the tree? How about some that have been custom made by monks and nuns? We tell you where you can find the special presents coming up. Do you have a story idea or want to share a tip? Email us at newstips@desalesmedia.org or call our 24-hour number 718-517-3122. We'll be right back. This year, for the first time, the Vatican has chosen a nativity scene from the Americas. This beautiful display in St. Peter's Square is from the Huancavelica region in the Peruvian Andes. There are 35 life-size statues made by a team of artists from that region. The scene also includes plants and animals found in the Andes. It will be on display through January 9th. This Christmas, you may find a present under the tree made in a monastery. Justin McClellan shows us the unique treasures being made by monks and nuns worldwide.
Contemplative monks and nuns live and work in monasteries around the world, creating everyday products to support their communities that could end up on your shelves. The Contemplare Foundation in Spain is a lay organization that supports monasteries by connecting those products with ordinary people and potential customers.
When we looked and asked monasteries what they needed, they said that what they needed most was help selling their products. We understand that this is what they need most and what we can help them with the most because we know businesses. We know what they need and we know the reality of the monasteries.
The Contemplare Foundation ships products made in contemplative communities ranging from sweets and liqueurs to custom-made baby clothes worldwide, and even has a showroom to sell their products in Madrid. They say gifting products made by monks and nuns is a way of sparking conversation about contemplative life among the public.
It baffles people. They're like, oh, this was made in a monastery, but monks and nuns make this? Then it becomes, how many monasteries are there? In Spain, there are over 750 monasteries. What do you mean? So that leads to, how many monasteries do you think there are in Spain? And then, did you know that Spain is the global leader in contemplative life? That a third of monks in the world are in Spain? It's fascinating, isn't it?
The organization is comprised of lay volunteers who contribute their time and talent to support contemplative communities, yet many people hired to help their operations end up becoming volunteers themselves.
We've found that people who have very high up people tell us, great, I'll do it. And at the end, when we say, okay, give me the bill or tell me what we owe you, they say, look, you know what? I'm going to consider this volunteer work because I earn well and I think this is a way to give back.
Their website catalogs the different monasteries they support and the products they make. Through their work, the Contemplare Foundation is connecting the world with those who pray for it on the other side of the monastery walls.
That was Justin McClellan reporting. The gifts made by the nuns and monks range from gourmet food baskets to handmade crafts. You can shop online at the website address on your screen, fundacioncontemplare.org. She's a pint-sized prodigy with the voice of an angel. Take a listen to a 9-year-old schoolgirl from South Africa sing Ave Maria. No matter how many times I listen to that, I can't believe it's coming out of little body. This video of little Gugu Ned Cienz has gone viral with tens of thousands of likes on Twitter alone. And that is Currents News. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.